I'm Myke Shrews,
And I'm Tivis.
and you're listening to
The Munster Cast.
episode 64. Welcome back, everybody, to the MUNSTERCAST, the podcast where we watch and talk about the Munsters. I am, of course, your host, Myke Shrews, here with my co-host and friend, Tivis, who doesn't like to push the play button on time. So, Tivis, tell everybody, how you doing today, dude?
Oh, today's going great. And I just hit the microphone.
Yes. Well, guys, as we said last week, we are doing this real quick episode for you guys, just so you have something this Munster Monday here, and it should be interesting. I'm curious of Tivis's thoughts on it, but before we dive into it, let's do some dirty work, Tivis, since we have to do it for some reason. You can find the Munster Cast on all social media platforms. That is Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitter. All via the Munster Cast. That is the Munster Cast, guys. You can also go over to youtube.com/@themunstercast and see our pretty ugly faces every Munster Monday and view all our extra content that we post over there as well, guys. And then if you want to find everything that we do all the time, you can go and visit www.themunstercast.com. We post everything there. Everything goes there. Our audio, the videos, blogs, everything that we do goes over there. And if you become a sponsor or want sponsorship, you can contact us through that page or through our email, which we'll get to later. But in the meantime, you can also go to themunstercast.com/merch shop and buy one of our awesome shirts that is made specifically for you guys, the Munster fans out there. Yeah, I think that's about all I got. Besides, of course, the email. You can email us at themunstercast@outlook.com every day of the week, and we try to respond as fast as we can. There you can email us your Munster stories, your Munsters, anything you want, how we're doing, all that fun stuff, guys, and let us know what you want us to do. As we're starting to get into we're mid-season now for the Munsters today, so
season one.
So we have 2 more seasons. So if you guys know of any other stuff out there, fan films, because I've been searching for fan films for the Munsters just to watch and stuff, just to see, and I haven't found a whole lot of anything out there to do. So if you guys know of anything or have Munster stories, anything like that, just email us over there at munstercast@outlook.com, and we can definitely talk about that. And lastly, Tivis, what else do we got?
We have a Patreon, which, as always, is mostly just a tip jar. Did you mention the tip jar on the website?
I did not. No, I did not. I forgot about that one.
Okay. Well, there's also one on the website where you can just donate directly. But with Patreon, you get an added benefit where if you join our Lester tier, whose name or title I will always forget.
Lester's next big investment. That's what it is.
Oh, you forgot it too. Okay. So if you join that, you will get access to our Discord where you will be able to watch along with us. Myke always posts the new episode a week in advance of when we talk about it. Obviously there wasn't one last week, but there will be one this week. As you're hearing this episode, there's a new one. So you can watch. We'll give you a week in advance. Then you hear our thoughts on it, go over the recap and stuff. But more importantly than that, leave us a review on all of this stuff. Tell, your podcast, catch your choice if it lets you on YouTube, on all of our socials. You can do it there too. We don't care if it's public.
Oh, yeah.
And most importantly, tell a friend. That helps the show grow more than any of this other stuff.
Definitely does. It definitely does. Let me see if I can pull this up too for the video viewers over here. So we got, come on, there we go. All right, here we go. Here's set up right here, guys. So if you see on Patreon, there's only 2 tiers. Lester's next big investment is the one that gets you on Discord. Check out every episode that we do. We've been posting some other stuff in there as well, so definitely do all that, guys. And yeah, and if you just want to, if you don't care about any of that and you just want to join in the fun of the Patreon, it's right here. It is I Like Zombo Because. And all of this, of course, is set up with the original cast and everything like that. So definitely check that out, guys, for sure.
Now you're showing.
What?
You're showing every.
Oh no! Oh no! What is that? How did that even stop? How did that even get there? There we go.
I hope you didn't have any sensitive information on there.
No, I didn't.
And if you missed our interview 2 weeks ago, we talked with Scott about the Monster Bash, which will be happening June 16th through 18th.
Yes.
In Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. And, you know, it sounds like a really awesome time. And if you didn't listen to the interview, go back and listen to that interview. That was a fun talk we had with him.
Oh, yeah. Scott was great to be on here. And you can also actually just go to the MunsterCast.com/MonsterBash2023 as a direct link to get tickets and find out all the other information about Monster Bash 2023 for sure, guys.
And I'm in the process of trying to submit it to be on fancons.com, which if you haven't used that, that is a really good resource to find local conventions to your area.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get it submit it to there. You don't need a membership to the site to submit. Unfortunately, they have closed creating memberships right now. So once that's back up, I'm going to make one. But yeah, so I'm going to try to get that on there for people.
Cool. Awesome. Oh geez. I think that's it. I think that's all we got today.
Yep.
I have not checked to see if the results yet for the Rondo Awards have been released. Unfortunately, I am we're recording this a little early in advance for you guys, as we've spoken on the last episode already to let you know. So definitely check out and see what the Rondo Award results are. See if the Munsters have won or anything like that, or if we are even in the running at all. Other than that, guys, yeah, just go to MunsterCast.com/MonsterBash2023. That'll take you directly to the Monster Bash site. Where I think it's creepyclassics.com is the actual website, but I created a pretty hyperlink for everybody there as well.
Or you can go to monsterbashnews.com. That'll bring up the information as well.
Awesome. Sweet. Yeah. So that's all we got for that. So this week, guys,
Myke is going to torture us.
A couple weeks ago, I think we talked about, I think even with Scott, how I was obsessed with some AI stuff. I've actually, planned on this in advance, but I'm actually kind of getting over it already now. I got bored with it the other day when I started texting Tivis using an AI chat bot, and it was just kind of it was boring after like 5 minutes. So I think I'm getting over the AI stuff. But with that said, we do have an AI story that I prompted ChatGPT. I think this is the site, correct? I don't remember.
That's
whatever it is.
Most common.
The big one. Yeah. So I prompted on there for it to write me a Munsters story. I gave it some qualifications, of course, things like that you do. And I had to change some things around too. I had to keep going and telling it I had to keep going and telling it to change some stuff or delete this and stuff like that, just because I didn't like the way it was ending. So I finally got an ending that I liked, and I figured we'd share it. It's about a 9-minute audio. I actually had an AI bot read it a lot, so I recorded that too. I'm not sure the legality of this. Tivis, do you know any legal actions that can be taken against us if we're promoting AI content out there like this? Is there anything? Nothing? No.
I mean, morally, it's questionable, but
Morals, what are those?
It's all in good jest.
But so the basic premise of the story though is still coming from a human's mind. Just a lot more of this story, of course, is being written and produced by an AI chatbot, guys. Just so you guys are aware, because some of the words, the way it talks too, is very robotic. You can tell, and sometimes. But I thought I'd share the story with
Do you
everybody.
want to share what you've been doing to everyone in text?
What do you mean?
All right, Mr. Robot.
I said that. I said I was texting you with the AI bot, and I got bored with
it. He has been. Everyone.
I got bored with it real fast after that.
Because it just sounds like corporate speak.
Well, not only that, they wanted to charge me after like 2 days, and I was like, I'm not paying for this. It's not that much fun to troll my friends with this to pay for it. Okay. Anyways, guys, let's dive on into this. We actually, there for the video people, there is a video that will pop up on screen next to me and Tivis, so you can see Tivis's live reaction to this. To the story and stuff, because I'm curious. He's read the couple stories that I've put made AI write me, and he thinks I'm punishing AI. So we'll see what everyone thinks. Remember, this is not canon. This is not what we, anything like that. This is just purely
not official.
Yes, it's purely for fun. And it was just a test to see what AI could do with the Munsters, because unfortunately, it doesn't know a whole lot about the Munsters besides the information from the 60s show I've found. So
I mean, that seems to be the internet in general. So
it also, if you type in what is the Munster Cast podcast, it says that we are hosts like Scott and Tim or some shit like that. So yeah. All right. Anyways, let's dive on into this 9 minutes of AI talking to you guys. And again, if you watch the video, there is a little video that will pop up with it. So if you're just listening to audio and you want to see that little side by side, it's nothing like major or anything. It's just something I tossed together that felt like it could go with this a little bit here. So, all right, let's dive into this, Tivis. Or do you got any words before we start, Tivis?
Let's do this.
He's like, I'm sorry. Why did I even wake up today? All right, dude. All right, let's get into this, guys.
Marilyn had always been the odd one out in her family. She was the only member of the Munster family who looked like a regular human, and she often struggled to fit in with her vampire, werewolf, and Frankenstein's monster relatives. However, Marilyn had a secret that she kept from her family. She was a succubus. For years, Marilyn had been feeding off of the life force of unsuspecting mortals. She enjoyed the thrill of seduction, and she would lure in her victims with her irresistible charm and beauty. However, Marilyn was always careful to cover her tracks, never letting her family or anyone else know about her true nature. One day, Herman Munster, Marilyn's uncle, noticed something strange about his niece's behavior. Marilyn had always been a bit of a hopeless romantic, and she had a habit of falling head over heels for new love interests every week. However, Herman noticed that none of these love interests ever seemed to stick around for long. They would come into Marilyn's life with a bang and then disappear just as quickly. Herman couldn't help but wonder if Marilyn's secret life as a succubus was the reason for her love life's constant turbulence. He decided to confront her about it. "Marilyn, can I talk to you for a moment?" Herman asked, pulling her aside after dinner one night. Marilyn felt a sense of dread wash over her. Had her uncle somehow found out about her true nature? "What's going on, Uncle Herman?" Marilyn asked nervously. Herman took a deep breath. "Marilyn, I've noticed that you have a habit of falling in love with new people every week." But none of these love interests ever seem to stick around. I can't help but wonder if there's something more going on here. Marilyn felt a lump form in her throat. She knew that she couldn't keep her secret from her family forever, but she had hoped that she could at least keep her love life private. Uncle Herman, Marilyn hesitated, not sure how to proceed. Suddenly, Lily, Marilyn's vampire aunt, appeared in the doorway. "What's going on here?" she asked, sensing that something was amiss. Herman quickly filled Lily in on his suspicions about Marilyn's love life. Lily's eyes widened in shock as she realized what might be going on. "Marilyn, is it true?" Lily asked, turning to her niece. Marilyn hung her head in shame. "Yes, it's true," she admitted. "I'm a succubus. I feed off the life force of mortals, and that's why my love life is always so chaotic." The Munster family was stunned. They had never suspected that Marilyn was anything other than a regular human. However, they didn't judge her for her true nature. Instead, they embraced her and accepted her for who she was. From that day on, Marilyn was more open about her true nature with her family. She still had her share of love interests, but she was more careful about how she fed off their life force. And while Marilyn's life as a succubus was still a secret to the outside world, she felt a sense of relief knowing that she could be open and honest with her family. As time went on, Marilyn became more comfortable with her true identity and started exploring her abilities as a succubus. She learned to control her powers better and was able to feed off the life force of mortals without causing any harm. One day, Marilyn met a mortal named John who was different from anyone she had ever met before.
Of course.
John was kind, understanding, and he accepted Marilyn for who she was, despite her true nature. Marilyn was hesitant to start a relationship with John at first, knowing that her succubus nature could potentially harm him. However, John was insistent on being with Marilyn and offered to learn more about succubi and how to protect himself. With the help of her family, Marilyn and John started a relationship. Marilyn was careful not to feed off John's life force too often, and he learned to protect himself from her powers. Over time, their love grew stronger, and they became inseparable. One day, while out on a date, John surprised Marilyn by proposing to her. Marilyn was overjoyed and said yes, happy to have found someone who accepted her for who she was. The Munster family was thrilled to see Marilyn happy and in love. They welcomed John into their family and helped him learn more about their supernatural world. Marilyn knew that she would always be a succubus, but with John by her side and her family's support, she felt like she had finally found a place where she belonged. From then on, Marilyn continued to keep her true nature a secret from the outside world, but she was content knowing that she had found love and acceptance with her family and her mortal partner, John. Marilyn continued to live her life as a succubus, but as time passed, she found it harder to control her powers. One day, while she was with John, she lost control and accidentally drained his life force, leaving him in a weakened state. Marilyn was devastated by what had happened and knew that she couldn't risk hurting John or anyone else again. She made the difficult decision to have herself destroyed, so that her powers could no longer cause any harm. The Munster family was heartbroken by Marilyn's decision, but they understood her reasoning and knew that it was the only way to keep everyone safe. Grandpa Munster, who was an expert in the supernatural, came up with a plan to safely destroy Marilyn. He prepared a potion that would neutralize her powers and allow her to pass on peacefully. Marilyn was sad to leave her family and John behind, but she knew that it was the right thing to do. She drank the potion and closed her eyes, ready to embrace her fate. The Munster family gathered around her, saying their final goodbyes and thanking her for all the love and joy she had brought into their lives. John held her hand tightly, tears streaming down his face as he whispered his love to her. As the potion took effect, Marilyn's body began to dissolve, and she passed on peacefully, surrounded by the love of her family. The Munster family mourned Marilyn's loss, but they knew that she had made the ultimate sacrifice to protect those she loved. John, in particular, was devastated by her passing, but he knew that she had done what she had to do. As the Munster family mourned Marilyn's loss, they were surprised to see a bright light suddenly appear in the room. They shielded their eyes as the light grew brighter and brighter until it finally faded away, revealing Marilyn standing before them, transformed into an angelic being. The family was overjoyed to see Marilyn once again, now as an angelic being, and they embraced her, tears of happiness streaming down their faces. Marilyn explained that Grandpa Munster's potion had not only neutralized her succubus powers, but it had also unlocked a new power within her that had transformed her into an angel. Marilyn's transformation had not only erased any traces of her succubus powers but had also imbued her with new abilities. She was now able to fly, create miracles, and provide guidance to those who needed it. The Munster family was amazed by Marilyn's new abilities and welcomed her back into their lives with open arms. With Marilyn's guidance, the family continued to live happily, and they found new purpose in helping others and spreading love and kindness wherever they went. John was grateful to have Marilyn back in his life, even in her new form, and he cherished every moment they spent together. Marilyn's transformation had made her more powerful than ever before, but it had also made her even more loving and caring than she had been before. The Munster family had been through a lot, but they had come out stronger on the other side. With Marilyn's new powers and her love guiding him, they knew that they could face anything that came their way. They lived happily ever after, sharing their love and joy with everyone they met.
All right. The end.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
So a little behind the scenes of that one, it kept trying to give her kids that would turn into demonic succubuses, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. So I had to make it an ending to where it was more of a happy ending, and I liked the ending. It was kind of a cool one. What about you, Tivis?
So I'm going to put the robotic voice aside, which is like nails on a chalkboard to me.
Oh yeah. I was using another AI tool, and it would have given, like, when the characters talked, it would have given like Lily a really Romanian accent and stuff like that, and they were really cool. But then they wanted to charge me, and I was like, I'm not paying for this.
So when did you realize that you basically turned the Munsters into Dragon Ball Z?
I'm not a Dragon Ball Z person, so are you trying to say like she went like Super Saiyan or some shit?
It's her most powerful form. Yeah.
I can get down with that.
Also,
this is the Munsters anime version.
do you really think Herman would be the one to notice Marilyn's peculiarity?
No, it just depends on which version of Herman we're talking about. That's the thing.
Does it?
Yeah, because I feel that the Herman in the 60s show paid a lot more attention to stuff like that.
Did he?
He did.
Remember his son came home angry and he just ignored it for an entire day until his wife told him to deal with it?
That's because he was reading his comic funnies, boy. Like, he was reading his funnies, his joke book at the time. I think Herman would. I honestly do think that the Fred Gwynn's version of Herman would have called her out on something. I don't. Now,
I feel like Grandpa, maybe.
Grandpa.
Herman, no. No matter what version, Herman is pretty oblivious to most things.
You think though? Like,
Yeah.
I think Grandpa would just be like, "Hey, like, save me some."
Oh, I'm not saying it would go down the same. I'm saying he'd be the one to notice.
Oh man, yeah. Um, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we could say that Herman
So,
wouldn't be the
are
one.
you trying to say that this is the reason they have the moat now?
This is the reason they have the moat. This is why she looks younger too now in the 80s version. Because she's
Like she got younger in the movies. I have no idea where to begin with this, man. This is
But what do you so like the whole idea of Marilyn being a succubus thing, that was totally something like I feel I started because we've seen a lot more people talking about it now, like saying I've heard rumors about it. So
yeah, I did not see that until you brought it up, and now it seems to be in every Munsters group at least once a month.
yeah. And so I was like, oh, let's do a story about that, you know? And I was actually going to take the time and write one myself, but then I was like, I have to take the time and write one myself. So, and then like the stupid AI thing came into my world for a brief few weeks. So
Month.
I decided to no, it's only been a few weeks I've been using it. I do remember though that there was one day my wife was sitting in here in the office and I walk up to the computer and I just pulled up chat thing on one browser, and as she was sitting at the computer I typed into the thing, I was like, write my wife a love letter and hit the send button, and I told her, when that's done, just read that. I love you. Bye. I can see a lot of guys using that though for the wrong reasons, and that's sad. That's gonna be sad. I guess they did an episode on South Park about it too.
Well, did you see? I forget what artist it was, but somebody had a top charted song that was completely created by AI.
No, I
And
didn't see that.
the person who made it uploaded it to iTunes,
You-
and now they're in the middle of a lawsuit.
so as a society nowadays, like we have all these movies and stuff about AI taking over or AI doing all these bad things and robots and stuff like that. Do you think that in a modern day version of the Munsters, there would be an evil, like not an evil, but like a robot in their family? Well, I guess you have Tin Can Man back in the day, but I'm talking like,
So you're turning it into the Jetsons now.
yeah, sure. Why not? Who cares anymore? They're doing whatever they want, anything. But yeah, no, like I said, like it kept trying to give them kids and make her like bad, like really bad, and I was like, no, Marilyn's not an evil being. She just, if she was a succubus, we're saying like theoretically, if she was a
in
succubus,
this story.
the story, it's not that she's evil, it's that it's what her being does to survive. Like that's how they have to survive. So it's kind of like when, you know, I mean, I guess we don't have to eat meat, but people eat meat still, and it's part
Too
of
much meat.
what we are. It doesn't mean that they're evil people just because they eat meat, you know.
Depends on the meat.
And if she is a succubus, that means she's a different being than people, so it's not even cannibalism. And it's not that she's eating people, she's living off of their life force. So it doesn't even necessarily mean that she's killing them all. Because in the story, it even says that she almost kills her husband a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, if you're eating someone's life force, though, doesn't that mean you're shortening their existence?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Or it's like Hocus Pocus when they're sucking the life force out of the kids. Does that mean those kids aren't going to live as long? Holy shit, I never thought about that.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No, they're not.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. You just ruined my childhood. Those kids
How
are
did you
gonna
not think of that?
those kids are gonna die so young. Like there's
So
a reason that they aren't in the second movie.
yeah, going back to your story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were supposed to be, but then she was in Wednesday, and then she wasn't, and just didn't do this
And then
anyway.
they remembered, oh yeah, their life force was sucked out of them as they were kids anyways. They weren't making it to their 30s.
That's Operation Babel, though. This is Munsters.
They're still witches.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I don't know.
Continue.
Is that really the only way she can survive? Because I mean, Dracula's feast on blood, right? And we
Mhm.
see Lily and Grandpa getting along just fine.
But we don't know. Well, Grandpa seems like he's always eating people because the way he talks, at least in the original series. And then Lily, we
Yeah.
don't know what she really feeds on. Like besides, like she's always putting some kind of creature, animal, or something in the food. So maybe she's just feeding off of that their blood from the food. Like I mean, in the Monsters Today, we recently saw that she was making what slug or not slug, leech something or another. Maybe she was
Yeah.
draining the blood from the leeches for herself, and then they got the rest of the carcass in the soup or whatever it was.
The rest of the carcass. I mean, that's very possible. I mean, I can't.
They never really dive into what the vampires, how they actually survive within the franchise, I guess. Except for in the Mockingbird Lane movie or TV pilot thing that we saw, where Grandpa is literally feeding on, was it a lion or no? It was a mountain lion, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so what is your idea then? Like, you're saying that she doesn't have to feed on people to survive? Is that what you're trying to say, though?
No. Going off of what, I mean, you just completely shattered that, but going off of what I was saying
Sorry.
is that they seem to be able to ignore their base instincts and survive on whatever.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's
Grandpa eats swords.
There would be a point though for like the succubuses. I don't remember too much of the lore and stuff of it, but
no, swords
it's
aren't
like
made with iron, are they?
No. But for the succubus lore, wasn't it that they use their life force and to drain them to stay young and beautiful and stuff like that, so that they could continue draining other people with their young and beauty and yeah, I don't know. You're the D&D person. I don't know too much about that stuff.
I don't know much about succubuses.
But yeah, I would say that she has to, like, and besides all those bad professors out there, come on, she should be feeding on them. They're failing her for no reason.
Well, I'm not repeating what Wikipedia says.
What is it? What? I'm curious now.
No, please don't. Yeah. It's yeah.
Yeah, I can do all that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm still in the camp that if she has some kind of supernatural thing, that's definitely what it is. I don't believe it's to the extreme that your AI pet seems to think so.
Yeah.
And also, please stop torturing that poor thing.
I did another one that I think I shared it with you, but I'm not going to share it with everyone else because I don't think the rest of the world needs to be tortured. About Grandpa. Did I share that one with you?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you sent it to me at work though, so I only skimmed it.
It was a dark one. That was a dark story for Grandpa. And it wasn't like what people would think, like him being a killer or anything. It was like, it was just dark. It got very like Breaking Bad, probably kind of dark almost.
So Mockingbird Lane type dark.
Yeah.
Which, you know, as we said in that episode, I don't think that fits with this family. Like, is there a cool story there with the creatures? Absolutely. Does it fit with the family? No.
No, I don't think it fits with what the family, the anything that we know of the Munsters at all. This story here, or the, like you said, the Mockingbird Lane short or pilot or whatever, and there's a reason why it didn't continue. I know people wanted to continue, but yeah. I named this story anyways, The Truth About Marilyn Munster. Air date May 8th, 2023, everybody. But yeah, no, like for Mockingbird Lane, it definitely was not a Munsters thing. Like you could have named it anything else, change some names around, and we'd have been fine.
I take back what I said about Herman. This story would 100% fit within Mockingbird Lane.
Yeah.
Because
I feel that they were going
Herman
to
was yeah, that Herman was both empathetic and more cognitive than any other version.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say more empathetic, because Herman did feel empathy to many people, but he didn't pick up on it.
Well, the way that Marilyn just came off as well, I could 100% seeing them have gone that route and made her into a succubus in that series.
Totally.
For sure. Because she just came off very evil, like, you know, she had
she
the
did
pretty
try to
looks,
save that one
but then
guy's
she had
life.
the evil. But wasn't that because they didn't want suspicion and have to move?
No, I think it's just because she didn't want them to kill a guy.
Maybe she wanted him for herself.
This was a weird one. I'm sorry, everyone, for putting you through this.
This was interesting. It was just regular. Yeah, we'll be back with another episode next week, guys, for you all, and definitely check that out. This was just really to fill it up because I'm out of town as this is airing, so we just wanted to make sure something was out there and early.
So,
early
congrats.
Too. Thank you
for lasting. That's really what people mean when they do that, right?
Right. But yeah, so as far as go on.
Let Myke know what. Definitely let us know what you thought about this weird story. What do you think about the Marilyn as a succubus thing? I want to know, because for me, I think I've said everything I can about your story that came to mind. I mean, she became a freaking angel. And
that was me.
More powerful than ever before. This is some Marvel shit here.
That was my doing. I had to add it in. I was like, let's make her an angel by the end of this story.
Of course, you and your 90s love of extremism.
I could have had Constantine bust in and but yeah, it was interesting. Like, I've heard the story many a times because I was just like, do I want to share this? Do I want to share this? And then of course I had to have it edited in there and stuff like that too for the audio. But the video I put it with, I thought kind of was
you synced you synced what was going on, and for those listening, he put it to this was Sleeping Beauty was the episode, right, where Marilyn is unconscious and needs someone to kiss her to wake her up. He synced it up pretty well with what was going on in the story and the emotions being displayed on the screen. My favorite part was where Marilyn starts eating people and you just see Eddie's hungry face staring at this guy.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It worked out just well. And I slowed the video down a little bit too. So it worked out. I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
is perfect, man. This is just perfect. And then, of course, you see her leaving super happy and stuff at the end of that with her future guy that we never see again in the show. But still, yeah, I thought it worked out for this episode pretty well.
Yeah.
So if you guys didn't watch the audio or the video, definitely just look at that just to see, take a gander at it and
See
browse
my
through it real quick.
tortured face.
Yeah. 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 It's fun to see Tivis go. What? Ah, no. Otherwise, do we got anything else for these people today, dude? Making it short because it's literally just this is what in we call in TV a filler episode.
Let's see. Come back next week as we talk Myke Munster, which I can only assume is going to be a fast food story. That should
Is
be
that
fun.
really what the next one is?
Myke Munster, yep.
Oh,
Episode 14. So we are well past halfway at this point.
Yeah. So definitely tune in next week, guys, for that. And what else do we have going on with the show? Like, we did episode last week, we did episode this week, you're getting an episode next week. I mean,
we should have an interview coming in the future.
We have an interview, we had to cancel it, so this is taking place
entirely my fault. Frank, my fault.
Yeah, this episode, this is all thanks to Tivis, guys, because we had to cancel
don't put that on me.
The interview episode so that Tivis could go out and please his wife.
I forgot it was
not that way, but
I forgot it was record store day. Okay.
Tivis had prior convictions to do in prison, and so
this is the word you're looking for.
Convictions. You were convicted. You're a convicted convicted convict. Do you ever hear people say that? People say that all the time. Makes no sense. Anyways,
well, it's the same people who say ATM machine.
Yeah, AT machine is what it should be. The at machine, or like the AT-ATs for Star Wars.
Do you not know what AT stands for?
It's no, actually I don't know what AT stands for.
I believe it's automated transfer.
Yeah. So you say AT machine. You don't need the M. The M is the machine part.
Oh, automated teller. Well, that was close.
They probably just changed it. But yes, this is all thanks to Tivis having to reschedule. So if you didn't like this story and you want to file complaints, you can email Tivis at no. You can just email us at TheMunsterCast@outlook.com. Both me and Tivis get all the emails that you guys send us in. So I try and let you know if it's me responding back to you by saying who it is and stuff. So just know that in the future, if you're emailing us, that we're both being able to read it. So if you want to shit on Tivis, he's gonna see it. So
I do see them. I may not reply to them often, but I see them.
Other than that, Tivis, any final words for today, my man?
It's been a strange one. I as much as I've reacted, I appreciate you bringing this to everyone. The more Munsters in the world, never a bad thing.
Yeah, it was fun, stupid, and interesting to see what AI would do with the Munsters family. They always want to make it very dark, though.
That's because of their origin. It's the same reason that I conflict with people who label this as a horror show. It's a sitcom. It's a comedy.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, geez, wow. With that said, everybody, we will catch you next time as we take another stroll down 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, thin or ugly or handsome like your father. You can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character.